Okay.
Roll curb.
No, we haven't rolled curb, gravel curbs.
I mean, I did, having it open-ended way is not good, I guess, because there's no definition to it.
Do you want to consider anything besides concrete?
I don't think so.
Because if you leave this a blank check for me, it'll be a concrete vertical face curb backed up with soil.
6 inch.
6 inch height minimum.
Okay, we'll write it up, bring it back to us. And
The one thing is though, I mean, for small businesses, that is a huge expense, that you're not getting any payback out of. I agree.
Do you want it a certain size, like anything under 10, 5?
Something to easily measure, number of spaces. Some use, if you want to grant relief at the low end, I would ask that it be something that's easy to quantify, like the number of parking spaces or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
I suspect this ordinance came about over Walmart-sized parking lots, large parking lots. I think that's why the provision for the interior landscaping is included, because when you have a sea of asphalt, it's nice to have some relief from all of that gray or blacks and green. Interior landscaping is very problematic because in the winter we salt roads and people drive their vehicles in there and their bumper hangs over the planting area and the big glob of salt and ice falls off and burns the landscaping over time, and it's in the way for people pushing snow, all that, but still it's better than 40 acres just paved.
Sounds like we have a little bit of assignment, working on a revision
Okay.
to this with, at some point, on some of the smaller sizes that it would be.
While we're doing this, our ordinance says that landscaping shall be 10% of the parking area, of which half of that 10% shall be internal within the parking area. Would you want to consider providing relief from the internal landscaping on smaller lots?
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
It's pretty problematic if you got 5 spaces to figure out how to have internal landscaping. I wonder if we don't want to have a set of standards for parking lots less than, pick a number here, 10, I don't know what,
For landscaping.
for all of this.
Well, the thing is, I'm thinking, on a small lot, if you take 10% out for landscaping, it may really limit them in the amount of spaces they can get on the property they've got.
Maybe they're trying to overbuild the site.
I would say though, we, on less than 10%, on less than 10 parking spaces, we just exclude it,
The landscaping and the curbing.
just the landscape.
Gonna have curbing on everything?
Well, then we have the issue with what we were talking about earlier, where nothing is done out there. But I guess that's what the BZA is to grant them relief to leave it looking like it is.
I'd base it on the amount of parking spaces. rather than
I'm just asking for some guidance so we know how to draft
Less than
something.
10.
But any other cities, how are their ordinances spelled out? Do we have a-
All over the place most likely, but I mean, they're out there and we could do a
I
little
can-
research.
Yeah, I can look at surrounding cities like Columbus, Shelbyville, Batesville.
So what happens if I come in and I ask for variance and curbing to pave my parking lot, and I just refuse to put curbing?
Then you'll get a nice little letter from Mr. Tony.
I know, then after that nice little letter.
Well, but now on the if you're not in there yet, we won't grant your.
Yeah, you're
you
still
won't
If,
get-
when we're doing our job, we don't grant you a certificate of occupancy until you have done everything required by the ordinance.
Unless it's an inclement weather deal.
We could,
But
we,
that has to be stated on the CFO that it's, you.
and then you're in, so.
I'm
Yeah, but-
just playing.
Well,
Let's
and-
Sure.
and
devil's advocate.
And then if you're doing it, we put a stop order. If you continue to do it, then again, we turn it over to Chris, who would file an injunction or what have you. don't
I just
enforce
know
this
how
on that.
expensive this is. In the projects we've done, how expensive putting this curbing is. What a nuisance it is when you're trying to remove snow.
That's why I'm thinking if you keep it at a certain parking spot number, we're not gonna hinder the small business. I don't think we wanna make it so that it's not friendly for small businesses to locate here. But yet, we don't want large parking lots to not have, and landscaping, when you're talking about 500 parking spaces or something. I don't know what the number is, you guys can look that up with other communities and see how they do it.
I would say before we make any decision, research it and see what as many.
We're not, Kathy and I aren't gonna make any decisions. We're gonna draft something and offer it to you for your consideration.
that's fine.
But the more guidance we
Give us
can
some
have,
guidelines.
yeah, the
you
more
tell us what
guidance
they
we can have to draft something that's close to what you'd like to see.
And there are instances where it is used to help with drainage. I mean, if you look at Lincoln Street, for example, years ago, there was hardly anything there. Now, most of them have curbing on the parking that helps.
A lot of that
mitigate-
was a part of the first piece of Lincoln Street, was curbs along the back of sidewalk to control runoff from the parking
Because
areas.
there was such a drainage issue along Lincoln Street.
Well,
So
there was no
I can see
storm
where
drains
you're,
out there.
I'm sorry.
There was no storm drains out there.
Exactly.
At the time, so it's helped to alleviate that issue. And then there's what we're talking about, which was approved with, curbing on the streets, no storm sewers, et cetera, and then, there's not really per se a drainage issue out there, but there could be someday, because of non-maintenance of the ditches and swells and everything, because when we build, we backfill the swell at the very back and whatever, and we, non-maintenance. So, I mean, there could be an issue down the road. And like, Mr. Toomey came in and said, okay, as long as you put a tile here and help me alleviate my problem, okay, there might be some issues going on that we don't know about. But we also don't wanna create an issue of our own where we have water coming down the driveway, either flooding out or in the wintertime icing up our intersections either. So, we gotta take those things into consideration as well.
Kathy, those businesses out there in Commerce Park or whatever it's called there on Bear Show Lane, are those parking lots and those businesses, are they all, do they have,
Nothing. The only thing
They're
they
all
have-
hard surface.
They have,
They're all
they
paved.
have,
yeah, they don't have.
They're all
curb.
hard surface.
But see, those were all built for.
Right, I'm just trying
they
to
might have
look at
their
comparable.
handicap accessible spot, their accessibility route, and that's it.
That's the other piece of the puzzle that comes in here, is a certain ADA criteria that has to be satisfied.
If we go curbing and I assume we're gonna curb the driveways to the street.
That is what the ordinance currently says.
Then we're gonna have to make sure we got an ordinance in there to make sure they're big enough for emergency vehicles like fire trucks and stuff to turn and get in without going over curbs.
We have a minimum width though.
Yeah, I also, the parking space, yes. So,
No, I'm talking about on your entrance.
Commercial driveways,
they look at this as well. Anymore, when there's a commercial plan, I sit with the fire department and they look at their aspect of this as well. Because out in the jail, they were concerned about the rear parking area maneuvering around.
the design standards have a minimum width of driveway for commercial, but not for residential.
The design standards have residential, not commercial. Yes.
I'm pretty sure not.
All right,
So,
they're gonna look stuff up.
you guys got some homework assignments.
Sorry about that.
Rehash it again the next meeting, if you do a little research, find out what's out there,
Well, if it's your desire, we can draft some proposed language, be a starting point.
Go from there to the next meeting.
Give us some different options, maybe.
No.
I'll do
Any other items of interest from planning commission
I
members?
think the mayor wants to say something.
I think that, you know, we did a study about a year ago, the overlay district, and I think we talked about this at length, at the meetings, and I don't know what went on, but that may be a source that we need to look at, because we did have contractors in with that discussion. Now, it may say no curbs, or it may say, yes, there should be curbs, I don't know. But I would think we need to look at that real quick.
I know we talked about screening in that for sure.
And we talked about the, you know, when you put the planters in, you also can use them as, like the county said, a drain. Up on the square, we had those planters there. We put snow on top of it so it drains. And that's what they was made for. So there is reasons for that in the thing. But the overlay project was a group of people that looked over this, and it's a good project. So that may be where we need to look at this piece.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Do you have any other items of interest from planning commission members? Kathy, you have anything else for us? As of now, do you have anything for, other than what we just talked about with the?
He's left, maybe. Andy is, and I've talked to Chris about this, working on an annexation survey right now for the hospital. The hospital is trying to clean up their properties that they have. He's waiting on the hospital's attorney to get back with him with some documentation. So he's trying to get that ready for next month, but he's not certain. It's all in someone's lap waiting. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, on Montgomery Road, they have 3 different properties. They have, and I only know it as, I think, Dr. Blewett's old office. And then their new drive that goes out to Montgomery Road, and the parcel that is just east of that is all in the county. So they're trying to clean up, instead of having 10 different parcels adjoining, all belonging to the hospital. They're trying to clean it up and make it one. The only thing that might not be included in this, and I think that's what they're checking on, is a few years back when they did the hospital renovations and additions, they put a bond on the hospital. And because of the bond, it requires so much time before they can do any real estate transactions with that. Am I saying that kind of correct? Does that sound right? But that's what he's waiting on, and he's working with Mr. Wickens, so just waiting on him to see if he's got everything ready to go or not. And with it being a voluntary annexation, it should be just straightforward. We still have to notify adjoining property owners, but then from there, the recommendation goes to city council, and then does it just, like, there's 3 readings, but is it 1, 2, 3 over a course of 3 months, or is it just 2 months?
I need to check on that again.
Yeah, I need to read that again myself, but it's still, there's still that allotment of time, and you have to have a public meeting, public hearing, and et cetera, so we'll get all that figured out. But right now, it's a strong maybe, but it could be next month in case the bond thing doesn't hold up. Well, and then there could be another one with the Schlemmer Apartments.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Having heard all the other items of interest, just on that, recommendation adjourned.
So moved.